Welcome back, Film Force fans. Get excited as we look back at all 18 MCU films in the countdown to Avengers Infinity War.
It is I, Thor, son of Odin.
No. That's definitely not what we want to watch.
I am Thor, Odin's son.
When I heard they were making all these MCU movies, like right in the beginning of the MCU, Thor was one of my favorite characters that I was looking forward to.
Thor? They're doing a Norse god movie? That's what was my first thought. And then my brother had to tell me about a comic.
I only heard about the character Thor in the build-up to the film Thor. And the idea of a kind of a Viking character, you know, the braided long hair and a hammer, didn't really intrigue me. I think he sounded quite dull, really. Just a bit bland. But the actual portrayal, Chris Hemsworth's portrayal of Thor, was nothing like what I thought it was going to be. It was refreshing. And I was proven wrong. And I quite enjoyed being proven wrong because he's now one of my favourite characters.
Thor is probably one of the most underrated movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I believe. Is it a great movie? No. But I think it's a good movie. Thor is a hard character to do because you've instantly got to introduce them to Asgard and all this magic. And I think they did a really good job with it.
My first impressions of the film was like, man, this is kind of... I mean, it's okay. It's a fish out of water story. I wish there was more magical elements to it. But when I first saw it, I was just happy to see Thor in a movie. And it was good to see like his presence in the MCU, especially in the early days of the MCU, and that they give him such importance in there. And I love he has to build himself back up and be a little bit more humble through his journey.
And then Chris Hemsworth as Thor. Did they actually cast a Norse god in this, okay? They chose someone who perfectly looked like him. That opening shot at the beginning where he's in his full Thor garb, the helmet and everything was amazing. And then let's not forget Kenneth Branagh, who directed this, someone who does Shakespeare. Okay? In some way, it worked for Thor. Okay? And I want Kenneth Branagh to come back.
It was the first one that really kind of utilised CGI quite heavily. So they had all of Asgard created in CGI, and it was spectacular, absolutely flawless. The difference in CGI between the two is phenomenal. They massively stepped up their game, and it really shows. You really had a good view of what Asgard was like. It wasn't just snippets, you saw the whole city, the whole, well, I guess it's a planet, you saw the whole thing going around it. It was so well done, and they didn't change anything in the later films. They kept it as is because they did such a good job. They didn't need to remodel it or change it.
Some of the things I liked about the movie was the whole S.H.I.E.L.D. being involved. It makes it feel like he's part of this bigger universe.
And I think it was also another good idea to have S.H.I.E.L.D., so another connectivity between these films to show they're not just all standalones. There is a connective universe, not to just get us waiting for the post-credit scenes. You have a great supporting cast in this from Anthony Hopkins. Okay, he's a standout role in this as Odin, the All-Father.
I think Anthony Hopkins played Odin really quite well in this film. Quite a standout performance in my eyes. I know him from Hannibal, the Hannibal Lecter, and then Hitchcock back in 2000 and whatever. And I think he did a really good job of kind of leaving all that malice and the pre-notions that we have of him behind and playing this, not only a king, but also a father figure that you can really quite get into in the film.
And then you have Jamie Alexander as Lady Sif, and then the Warriors 3. And then you have these.
I also liked Thors Buddies when they came on screen when they all went to go fight the monster thing. That was cool. I was really happy that they included that metal monster guy. He's directly from the comics. He's been in the animated series. It was good to see that live action on the screen.
I wasn't too sure about his entourage, the 4 warriors. They seem to be just the token characters. You had the Asian martial arts guy. You had the woman, you had the fat guy with an axe, and you had the piddly poke lots of holes in you on guard guy. They just seemed very cliche, very unnecessary. I don't think they really added much to the story. But I gotta say, as the other films came out down the line, it kind of grew on me. So while I didn't like them so much in the first film, in Thor, they did grow on me through the later films.
At base, we've got Xena, Jackie Chan, and Robin Hood.
And then you had Tom Hiddleston playing Loki, a great villain, okay? Even though his plot in this movie and Avengers was like, what is he planning? You didn't really understand it. He was still a great villain. Tom Hiddleston really wanted you rooting for Loki, okay? Just the way he talks, the way he looks, the way he acts was brilliant.
I really liked Loki. He's a really good villain, and you can really, if you're like that middle child, you can really feel what he's going through, and he's very relatable in that sense.
I never wanted the throne. I only ever wanted to be your equal.
Some of the things I didn't like about the movie were the whole Frost Giant's backstory. I mean, why did Loki have to be adopted? Why couldn't he just be just a misunderstood child? And that whole kind of side plot kind of pissed me off.
Not so great part, which is Natalie Portman's character and Kat Dennings' character. Natalie Portman's a good actress, but when she does these blockbuster movies, they're just not great. The chemistry between them was just not real to me.
Another thing I didn't like was there wasn't enough Thor being Thor. Like, that's my big complaint on MCU movies as a whole, is there's not enough of these heroes being heroes. The reason why the first Spider-Man works is you get to see Spider-Man being Spider-Man rather than, oh, I gotta stop this one bad guy. You get to see him saving kitties from the tree. You get to see him stopping small-time robbers, saving small-time people. And that's the kind of thing that impacts these superhero movies, makes them really super. And even the original Superman did that from the 70s. So that's some of the things I didn't like.
Overall, for me, it's a 7 out of 10. Really good CGI, quite good character development, but there wasn't much action. You know, he's the Viking god, he's the god of thunder, and he's got this hammer that was forged in a dying star. It doesn't really do much with it. It's a lot of development and a good character arc, but I would have liked to see more action.
Now, as I said, I don't think there's many ways to make a great Thor origin film. It's tough because you've got to introduce so much stuff. But I think they found one of the good ways to do it. So for that reason, I'm giving this film a 7.5 out of 10.
Well, out of 10, I'd probably rate Thor as a 7. And that's really stretching, maybe like a 6.8 to a 7. It's okay. It's not the greatest MCU movie. It's not the worst. A lot of the Thor movies are subpar anyways. So, but I enjoyed watching it. I wouldn't regret seeing it ever again, and I really enjoyed it. So,
thank you for watching this episode of the MCU fan countdown to Avengers Infinity War. Make sure you check out everyone's links in the description below, and like and comment and share this video. And check out the video tomorrow. Until next time, bye.